So after the Packers' 24-14 loss yesterday, Matt LaFleur spoke with reporters, and he was getting a lot of questions regarding Jordan Love and his interceptions, how he could potentially get Love to fix it, things like that. But a little later in the interview, he seemed to get a bit frustrated because the questions about Jordan Love and his decision-making continue to come time and time again, which I understand because it is a big topic that I do think is important to touch on because Jordan Love has struggled with turning the ball over. But Matt LaFleur got a little frustrated. Let me show this one clip from the press conference with LaFleur posted by the Packers on their YouTube channel yesterday.
Is it a delicate balance with a young quarterback that's capable of making all the plays that Jordan is to coach him in a way that he still has that freedom?
You guys are going to make – I understand. Like, it's really annoying up here, though. Like, you know, we're obviously – he's fighting, he's competing. And we know that we've got to take care of the football. But I don't question anything about what he's trying to do. We just got to do it better.
So I get Matt LaFleur's frustration when you have to answer a lot of questions about, turning the ball over. It sort of is what it is when you're a head coach of a team and your team struggles. I mean, you're 6-3. It's not like the Packers are in a terrible position. It could be better after losing to the Lions, no doubt about that. But there has been a problem with interceptions, and so I don't think it's bad that he's getting all of these questions about Jordan Love and interceptions. He's the highest paid player on the Packers, one of the highest paid players in the NFL. So it's not shocking that it's being asked a lot. And if you are Matt LaFleur, though, I get it. Like, how often can you, or how many times can you say, well, he needs to play better. He needs to not turn the ball over. He's trying not to. We need to fix it. He can only say that so many times. And so I think it just got, after time and time again getting asked a similar question, I think that he just was tired of having to answer it time and time again. And I think when you come off a loss, your emotions are pretty high. But with Jordan Love and the picks, if we look at his season so far, 15 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. And when you throw a pick six, that does really swing games. And there's no doubt that if Love did not throw that pick six yesterday, it's a much closer game. And when you look at the Packers, I mean, they outplayed the Lions when it came to total yards. And the biggest thing in yesterday's game was just so many mistakes, with the interception being one of them. And we've talked about it throughout the most of the season because Love has thrown a pick in every single game he's played this year. He missed 2 games with Malik Willis starting. But you do worry a little bit that if these continue, it is something that can be hard to really get over in games like this, where when you throw a pick six and the Lions get up like they did, it's just tough to come back when you have, big mistakes like that. And if we look back to last season, I was doing some research a little earlier this morning, and Jordan Love struggled early in the season last year and then turned it around the back half of the season. And he's been much better, I think, to start this season. It hasn't been the same kind of play we saw last year. But here's what I shared on Twitter earlier today. Jordan Love, after 9 Packers games last season, 14 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Jordan Love, after 9 games this season, 9 Packers games, he missed 2 of them, 15 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. I said he can turn it around, just needs to make better decisions like he started making in November last year. And I remember last season, about a year ago, we did not know if Jordan Love could reach the level that the Packers thought he could reach around this time last season. It wasn't looking great. He had some flashes of looking good, but all in all, his play wasn't, I think, up to what people expected from a first-round pick and a guy that the Packers drafted to replace Aaron Rodgers. And now at this point, we've seen that potential. We've seen what he can do, and we also saw that even though he struggled the first half of the season last year, he completely turned it around, stopped making as many bad decisions, and only threw 1 interception in the final 8 weeks of the season. So Jordan Love did it last year. I see no reason why he can't do it this year. I really do think it's just a mental thing where you're just focused on, not putting the ball into harm's way. He said with that interception that the ball didn't exactly go, where he intended it to go, and he didn't see the Lions player as well. But I think that is something where it's been talked about a lot. There's a fine line between forcing the ball into tight situations and taking a check down or throwing the ball away. And he just needs to do that more often. And Matt LaFleur knows he needs to do it. Jordan Love knows he needs to do it. But it can just be tough when you're a quarterback who's willing to take chances. It's just tough to clean that up. And we saw him do it last year, so not to say he can't, but it is a big deal. And it's not something that should be overlooked. And I do think the one thing about Malik Willis that has been beneficial when he played. I'm not saying that Malik is a better option than Jordan Love. I think maybe yesterday he could have been because of his mobility, and Jordan Love, was clearly being held back by his groin injury yesterday. There's no doubt about that. But Malik has done a very good job of, not putting the ball into bad situations, and Jordan Love has not. And so I think in a game yesterday where the Lions played a super clean game, didn't really make any mistakes, the Packers made a ton of mistakes. It was a game where if you just didn't make a lot of mistakes and just played somewhat clean football, you didn't have to light up the scoreboard, the game could have been a lot closer. So that's it for this one. If you want more Packers content, feel free to subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys next time.